What really happened to the woman the world would come to know as the Black Dahlia? Tonight, we uncover one of Hollywood's darkest unsolved mysteries. In the early hours of January 15th, 1947, the 22-year-old was brutally murdered and then left on the side of the road in an undeveloped Los Angeles neighborhood. Her body had been mutilated and cut in half with surgical precision. Despite the gruesome killing, not a drop of blood was left behind. News of Short's death spread quickly, and before authorities could cordon off the crime scene, reporters swarmed the area. It began an intense period of tabloid press coverage, fueled by rumors and inaccurate reporting. The media dubbed Short the Black Dahlia, a nickname inspired by the 1946 film The Blue Dahlia and influenced by Short's rumored penchant for black clothing. The initial investigation into the murder delved into Short's mysterious life, filled with questions about the men she knew and how she lived her life. Hundreds of suspects were considered throughout the Inquisition, and several falsely confessed to the crime. Although the LAPD had leads into Short's death, including handwritten notes from the killer, no one was ever charged. The Black Dahlia remains an unsolved mystery, and a case that detectives are still working on today. So, who killed the Black Dahlia? Here's everything to know about what happened to Elizabeth Short 79 years after her murder, and where the investigation stands. Who was Elizabeth Short? Short was born on July 29, 1924, and grew up outside Boston with her parents and 4 sisters, per the Black Dahlia Shattered Dreams. In 1942, Short's mother received an apology letter from her husband, who had been presumed deceased for over a decade, according to Shattered Dreams. In the note, he said that he had begun a new life in Northern California. Soon after, when Short was 18, she decided to join him, but it was short-lived, and she moved out in early 1943. Less than 6 months later, she would be found dead.
What happened in the time leading up to Elizabeth Short's murder? Over the last 6 months of her life in LA, Short is said to have lived in multiple places across the city while working various jobs. Miss Short's life in Hollywood seemed to follow a pattern. She didn't have any visible signs of employment. She'd be broke and then suddenly have some money, former police officer Vince Carter said in Shattered Dreams.
According to Shattered Dreams, Short departed on January 8th with a traveling salesman she had been seeing. They drove back to LA together, and he dropped her off at the Biltmore Hotel, where she claimed to be meeting her sister. The next few days of Short's life leading up to her murder have been shrouded in some degree of mystery. Her exact whereabouts are unknown, aside from sporadic sightings and an alleged encounter with Officer Merle McBride, who claimed to have seen Short on January 14th, just hours before she was found dead.
Who discovered Elizabeth Short after she was murdered? On the morning of January 15th, 1947, Short's body was discovered by a young mother on a walk with her child through Leimert Park, an LA neighborhood that was largely undeveloped at the time. As she approached the grassy area on the side of the road, she found something much more horrific. Short's naked body had been severed at the waist with surgical precision. Though internal organs were removed, the extensively mutilated corpse had been drained of blood, indicating that Short had been killed elsewhere. When police arrived at the scene of the crime, they had no idea about the identity of the mysterious young woman. Being so disfigured, authorities knew that they would be unable to share photos of the body with the public. Instead, they took her fingerprints and allowed an artist from the Los Angeles Examiner to sketch a recreation of the unidentified woman, per the Black Dahlia Shattered Dreams. Police quickly mailed a copy of Short's fingerprints to the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. Hours later, the FBI successfully identified Short, thanks to the fingerprints they had on record from when she applied for a job on an army base in California and when she was arrested for underage drinking.
According to Black Dahlia Avenger, McBride told authorities that the woman, believed to be Short, approached her sobbing in terror and claimed that someone threatened to kill her. Short appeared too shaken up to return to a bar she had been in to retrieve her purse, so McBride accompanied her. By then, the man was gone, and McBride left Short's side. It has been nearly 8 decades since Elizabeth Short was found dead, but her case remains one of Hollywood's most notorious murder mysteries.